Let's get to breaking news out of Austin in the last 20 minutes. If you're just joining us, you may have missed it a few minutes ago. State lawmakers have now voted to recommend impeaching Attorney General Ken Paxton.
And this is coming after investigators detail years of alleged wrongdoing. They laid it all out. Jack Fink is live for us in Dallas with what happens now and next. Jack.
Well, Nicole and Doug, this is certainly a remarkable turn of events at the Texas Capitol. This just happened moments ago. The 3 Republican members and 2 Democratic members of this committee voted unanimously 5-0 to bring articles of impeachment against Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Let's watch.
The chair moves that the committee adopt the articles of impeachment against Warren Kenneth Paxton, Attorney General of the state of Texas, as embodied in the draft resolution, and direct the chair to file that resolution with the chief clerk of the House. The clerk will call the roll.
Chair Murr?
Aye.
Vice Chair Johnson?
Yes.
Representative Guerin?
Yes.
Representative Longoria?
Yes.
Representative Spiller?
Aye.
There being 5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 present not voting, the motion prevails.
And so the House could very well vote on this as early as tomorrow, just a few days before the end of the legislative session. And this comes after the committee met for 3 hours yesterday, hearing from a team of very experienced investigators and prosecutors who laid out their case against Paxton. They said that there was evidence Paxton committed abuse of official capacity, retaliation, and dereliction of duty relating to his alleged actions on behalf of a campaign donor. This investigation began actually in March after Paxton announced he would settle a whistleblower lawsuit filed against his office by 4 of his former top staffers for $3.3 million. He requested taxpayer money to pay the settlement, and that's what sparked the investigation. Records show he fired the top staffers after they went to the FBI more than 2.5 years ago to make allegations of bribery against Paxton. They then filed a lawsuit against the Attorney General's office. Now, this afternoon, Attorney General Paxton's chief of litigation demanded that this investigating committee give him a chance to provide their side of the story and allow them to testify, but obviously that did not stop the committee from filing these articles of impeachment against Paxton. Paxton, of course, has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in all of this. He remains under a federal investigation. He has not been charged, and yesterday he criticized this investigation as being partisan and being made, allegations being made by Democratic lawyers. So if the House does impeach him tomorrow, he would be removed from office until there would be a trial in the Texas Senate, and there needs to be 2/3 of the Texas Senate to convict him. And what's very interesting about all this, Doug and Nicole, is that one of the members of the Texas Senate is Paxton's wife, Senator Angela Paxton, from Collin County.
So play that out for just a second, because that's interesting. The question is, should he be impeached? What happens then? Steps down immediately, but in this trial that you talk about that would play out, if that were to come to pass, does he serve in his capacity during the trial? And I'll throw it out in somewhat layman's terms for the court system, presumption of innocence until proven guilty. How does that exactly work for his position?
Well, what we are being told and what we have read is that he would be removed after he's impeached from the House. Then the Senate would conduct its trial and decide whether to convict. This has really only happened twice before, so we're really on uncharted territory, at least in the modern day era. Yeah. So we're going to certainly have to wait and see. And then, Doug, don't forget, the other issue is, remember, Paxton still faces state felony charges, which were filed against him 8 years ago.
Correct.
And that case is still waiting for the state's top criminal court to decide how that case proceeds. Right. That's been tied up for years already.
So another huge issue that has popped up for the Attorney General of the state of Texas, albeit this one in the legislature, and at the moment, just for clarity, a recommendation of impeachment. The official vote could come as early as tomorrow. Jack Fink, thank you so kindly.